Was sick. Actually had UTI, so needed to rest. I was having fever and chills and, you know, the other symptoms. Right. So, just to review, I have here a bird Axie, and we're just going to try to identify the parts of this bird Axie again by just looking at it. Okay? So again, an Axie has 6 parts. You have the eyes, you have the ears. Okay? Let's take a look at those one by one. Have here the eyes. Let's color code them. The eyes here. Okay. And then you have the ears. Whoops. You have the ears here. So of course, if you have any questions, just hold on to them, and later we will be having a portion where you can ask your questions, okay? So moving forward, you have the back part of your Axie. Here the back part is Raven, and you have wings, okay? You have these wings. Then you have the mouth part of your Axie, the double talk part, giving a soothing song, okay? It's in white. You have the horn part of your Axie here. The horn part is eggshell, and that gives us the move, egg bomb. And finally, we have the tail part of our Axie. The tail part of this Axie is called post fight, and it gives us the move, all out shot. Okay, that's black here. Alright, so of course this is just a review. You guys should already be familiar with how to identify these. And one important arena skill right now is to be able to identify your opponent's moves just by looking at them. Of course, it doesn't really, come quickly to a lot of people, but with practice, make sure you're disciplined, and when you play Axie, you focus so that you can absorb as much information as possible, okay? And that's really gonna help you to become a better Axie Infinity player. So now moving on here, you have Raven, okay? Now, the bottom 4 parts here, the back, the mouth, okay, let's just write these. The back, the mouth, the horn, and the tail. These parts give you the card set of your Axie, okay? So the Raven back part gives us the move element here, right? And then the double talk part gives us the move soothing song. The eggshell horn part gives us the move egg bomb. And finally, the post fight tail part gives us the move all out shot. Okay? So this is how your Axie parts contribute to your Axie's card sets or move sets. Okay? So taking a look at this Axie, once again, we can see that just by looking at this Axie, we can actually identify which moves it has. So here, it has the egg bomb move because it has the eggshell horn part. And then here, you have the shiitake back part giving us Shroom's Grace. So you know that your opponent actually has Shroom's Grace. And then the mouth part, you have Serious. Here, that's the Serious mouth part, just a horizontal line like this. So that actually gives us the move Vegetal Bite. And finally, you have the Yam. The Yam here gives us the move Gas Unleashed. Okay, you have the Yam tail part. Right. When you're looking at your cards, you want to be looking at your card stats. Okay, so there are 4 things that you need to know about your card. First, of course, is the energy cost. So you find that here in the upper left corner of your card. This is the energy cost. Okay, the energy cost of your card tells you how many energy you need to be able to play this card. Okay, so for this one, you need 1 energy to play 1 Illumined card. Okay, there are some cards that, go for 1 energy, a lot of them, Some cards go for 0 energy, meaning you can cast them anytime for free. And there's one card that's Sweet Surprise that needs 2 energy to be used. Okay? Moving on, you have here the attack power of your Axie, of your card rather. So that's the attack. Okay? So this tells you how much damage you're going to deal with this card. Okay? Here you have shielding, 30. So when you use this card, this is the amount of shielding that your Axie is going to be getting. And finally, you have the card effect here at the bottom. Okay? So of course, you need to know what effect this particular card does. Okay? Will it be beneficial for your team? Will it be detrimental for your team? So make sure you read through these. Okay? And of course, some card effects synergize well with other cards. Okay? Like for example, there are cards that can only be activated where the effect will only be activated if you, say, combo it with a plant card, or if you chain it with a beast card, or you combo it with an aqua card. So you have to make sure that you're reading through all of those. Okay? Now, do you have any questions? Any questions here? Alright, since, we won't be playing this afternoon, I'll just give you a minute or two to field your questions. Yeah? None so far? Okay. We don't have questions about this part of the lecture, so we'll continue. Now we're going to review Axie classes and class advantages. So of course, you already know that there are 9 Axie classes, so we'll just go through them quickly, one by one. You have here the aquatic Axies. You have the beast Axies. You have the plant Axies. Okay, so actually, my first 3 Axies were aquatic, beast, and plant. Suffice it to say that I really wasn't a fan of aquatic Axies. I immediately replaced it with a bird Axie. Moving on, this is a bird Axie. You have your bugs and reptiles, okay? So these are the 6 main classes. And so these are all the card types. Okay, you have aquatic cards, beast cards, plant cards, bird cards, bug cards, and reptile cards. Now here, to rightmost, you have the 3 secret classes. Okay, you have Dusk Axies, Dawn Axies, and Mech Axies. There are no Dusk cards, no Dawn cards, and no Mech cards. Okay, so the card types are just the 6 main classes, but you have 9 different Axie classes. Okay? So moving on, let's talk about class advantages. So what do these green arrows mean? Okay, these green arrows mean that these particular cards are strong against whatever a group of classes they point towards. What does that mean? It means here that, for instance, I have the plant, reptile, and dusks, okay, pointing green towards birds, aquas, and dawns. So that just means plant and reptile cards, okay, deal more damage to bird, aqua, and dawn Axies, okay? So of course, we can use the same logic for the other arrows. Okay, so for instance, let's take a look at these. You have bird and aqua cards here on the bottom right corner. You have, hey, Axie Queen 143, thank you so much. Bird and aqua cards deal more damage. So to this group of Axies right here, to Beast, Bug, and Mech Axies. So that's the idea, okay? And so of course, to just complete this triangle, let's talk about Beast and Bug cards. So now we have Beast and Bug cards. Deal more damage to Plant, Reptile, and Dusk Axies, okay? I actually teach in, or at rather, De La Salle University. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so these are the class advantages. Okay, so let's talk about this disadvantages. So you know, the arrows just go the opposite direction. So what does that mean? Okay, it means that Plant and Reptile cards deal less damage. Okay, so now they're kind of ineffective to Beast, Bug, and Mech Axies. Okay, so that's why whenever there's like a 1v1 situation between a Plant and a Beast, the Plant in a tough position. But if there's a 1v1 situation between an Aqua and a Plant, then you know the Plant actually has a good chance of making it out alive. Okay, moving on. Here it just means that Beast and Bug cards deal less damage to birds, aquas, and dons. Okay, and finally, you know, to just complete this particular triangle, we're just gonna write down here bird and aqua cards deal less damage to plants, reptiles, and dusks. Okay, all right. So now we have talked about your class advantages and disadvantages. So this particular diagram just summarizes everything, okay? Bro, what the app like that presentation you can write on board? This is actually just Microsoft PowerPoint, okay? I'm just doing everything on Microsoft PowerPoint, and I just happen to have a drawing tablet like this because I use this also for teaching in my university. For those of you who are interested in Axie Infinity scholarships, you just type !scholarships, okay? That's with an S at the end. To join our Discord, you just type !Discord and the link will be there, okay? Now, let's talk about damage calculations. So it says here, an Axie using a card with the same type as it is deals 10%, okay, or 5 or 7.5% for secret classes more damage with that card. Okay, so now take a look at this. A Beast Axie using a Beast card deals 10% more damage. Okay, so if you have a Beast Axie and it uses a Beast card, it's gonna deal more damage already. Okay, so that's why we want to try to maximize a card's value by putting it on an Axie with the same class as it is. Okay? Now, a Mech Axie using a Beast or Bug card deals 7.5% more damage. Okay? Right. Now, moving on. An Axie using a card against a defending Axie that is weak against that card type. So now, we're going to be talking about class advantages. Okay? We're going to be taking into account your class advantages now. So you have a card type. So let's say plant card type, it's effective against bird and aquatic Axies. Or you have a beast card type, it's effective against plant, reptiles, and dusks. Or you have aquatic cards or bird cards, and you know that those are effective against beast, bugs, and mechs. Okay? So now, for instance, you see here, a beast Axie, or rather, a bird Axie first, okay? First, a bird Axie using a beast card deals 15% more damage against plants, reptiles, and dusks. This is because the beast class is effective against plants, okay? Now, what if you have a beast Axie using a beast card against plants? It will deal 25% more damage because it gets 10 from a beast Axie using a beast card, and then you have the 15% additional from the class advantage. So all in all, 25% damage. Okay? So that's actually gonna pack a lot of punch. So if we have a beast using a high damage beast card against the plant, then that's gonna be tough on the plant. Hey, Bacolod Merit Circle Scholars, how are you guys? Moving on, you have here Mech Axies using a beast or bug card, okay? They deal 22.5% more damage. Why 22.5? Because you have here 15% more, okay? So this is 15, okay? And then a Mech Axie using a beast or bug card gives you 7.5% more damage because it's a secret class, okay? Right. Now, before we go into more specific calculations, so I hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys ate your lunch because you're going to be thinking a lot for this afternoon. We're going to be doing a lot of math. We're going to be doing a lot of tracking, remembering. So make sure that you guys are well prepared. Okay? Any questions so far? I'll give you a minute or two to gather yourselves, okay? So welcome for those of you it's first time today watching the stream. $50K points guaranteed scholarship. So if you redeem the 50K points stream reward, you'll actually be put in the Merit Circle waitlist. That means if there's an account ready for a scholarship, then yes, you'll be onboarded. Alright? When is the game update? Not really sure about that because G-Ho didn't really, give us a date on when to expect it. Of course, guys, I'm encouraging everyone to interact with me in English so that your other classmates, especially those who are not from the Philippines, can understand what's going on with our class. Okay? Love the background music. What playlist is this? It's actually just a collection of my music files here on my computer. So I really can't link you a Spotify playlist or something like that. I actually used to. I used to sell Axies, but not anymore. Hey, Cebu Merit Circle Scholars. How's it going? You have a team, planning on nominating Cresian, October treat, gain card. Put in front, I guess it depends on, what the others are. Okay? Right. So, let's try to keep our questions lesson related so that we'll have a smoother flow of discussion. Somebody already redeemed 50K? No, not yet. Not yet. But you can also try and go to our Discord, head over there, and submit a video resume because 50K is not the only scholarship pathway that you can take. Okay? Right. So now, let's try to calculate more. How much damage will a single dual blade or sinister strike deal on a plant Axie if a beast Axie uses this card? Okay. So now, let's try that, okay? We know that this beast card is effective against plant. So we get 25, you get 15% extra damage from the get-go, okay? So this is a beast card, okay? So we know it's effective against a plant Axie. So how are we going to calculate the extra damage? Okay, so 130, we're going to multiply this by, what's our multiplier? You have 10%. Okay, that's 0.10 plus 0.15 for the class advantage. So this is the 25% actually. Okay, this is just the 25% of 130. Okay, and so this will be the extra damage that we'll be dealing. Okay, so that's going to be 65, and then 65 divided by 2, that's going to be 32.5. Okay, it's going to be 32.5. So of course we can just try to round it off. So we expect that the damage will be 163. Okay, 163. If we use it alone, of course, if we use it alone. Because now the calculation is going to be different if we use Sinister Strike along with another card. Okay? Because there will be a correction or an additional damage from using a combo. Now, what if a Mech Axie uses this card? So it's just going to be 130 times 0.225, 22.5% extra damage. So what's that going to be? Alright, what's that going to be? It's going to be 29.25. Okay, and so of course, if we just add this to the base damage, that's 130. The total damage is going to be approximately 159 to 160. Okay? So this, we just put 162 to 163. And finally, what if an aquatic Axie uses this card? So if an aquatic Axie uses this card, it only deals 15% extra damage, okay? So it only gets bonus from the elemental advantage, right? So now, it gives you 19.5 extra damage, and if we add that to the base damage of 130, that's just going to be around 149 to 150, okay? Right. Now, what if we now use two cards, okay? Or we, trigger a combo effect. So just to review, what's a combo effect and how is it triggered? A combo effect is triggered if an Axie, a singular Axie, okay, plays two or more cards in a round. So for example, my beast plays two cards. So that means I'm using a combo, okay? So your combos increase the damage dealt by each card, okay, depending on your Axie's skill, okay? So we're gonna have to look at the skill of our Axies. It's approximated by this formula: card damage times skill all over 500 plus minus 1, okay? So worry not. The formula might seem convoluted to you people who are not so interested in math, but don't worry, we're gonna make it simple, okay? Wait, let's try this then. Wait, do we have the skill? This? Okay, so let's just assume that this is a pure beast Axie with a skill of 31, and let's just try some calculations, okay? Skill 31. How much damage will it deal on a plant Axie? Let's see. Remember, a while ago, we already calculated 162 to 163 per card, okay, per card. But now, we're gonna be dealing more damage per card because we used a combo, okay? And we're just gonna plug in here 130 times 31 divided by 500 plus minus 1. Okay, we'll just not use the plus minus 1 for this particular calculation. Okay, we'll just take the middle value to make our calculation simpler. Okay, this gives us around 8. Okay, this gives us around 8. So now we know that we deal 8 extra damage. Okay, we deal 8 extra damage. Or 8 to 9. Okay, let's put 8 to 9. So now, if we play 2 Sinister Strikes on our beast, and we play that against the plant, we have, from the previous slide, 162 to 163, right? So we're gonna add 8 to 9. Okay, we're gonna add 8 to 9. So the resulting damage is gonna be 171 to 172. Okay? So this is the damage that we're expecting if we play 2 Sinister Strikes. So, you know, you actually get 8 damage per card. 8 to 9 damage per card. So on the average, that's gonna be 17 extra damage that you are not gonna be able to get anywhere. And you know, sometimes that 17 damage, that 17 extra damage, it's actually, you know, just enough to take your opponent to last stand or actually get rid of your opponent. Okay, so every point of damage counts. So make sure you try to maximize your cards values by not playing them alone. Okay, because if you play them alone, you actually lose some damage. Only time I'd play cards alone is if I'm trying to split kill, meaning I'm gonna play one card on my fastest Axie and one card on my slower Axie, so that if the receiving Axie on the opponent's end puts up a shield, I still get rid of him. If he doesn't put up a shield, then I get rid of the Axie in front, and then the damage from my slower Axie will go to his next Axie. Okay? But to maximize damage, you actually want to play your cards in a combo. Alright? Okay. So now we're gonna try that again. We're gonna try that again. Okay? So since we're talking about skill, I want you guys to remember that this particular bird's skill is 35. Okay? It's 35. Now, approximately, how much damage will this combo deal against an aquatic Axie if a bird Axie uses these cards? Well, let me just try to put this in the middle so that you guys can see the text. Yes, there we go. I will show you the formula here again. It's card damage. Okay. Wait. I think just here at the bottom. Card damage multiplied by skill divided by 500. Okay? We'll just use this as a baseline. So I want you guys to, you know, get your calculators or phones with calculators, and then you can try to calculate these values. Okay? I'll give you guys a minute. Yeah? Is it hard? Oh, I hope y'all are focusing, huh? Do we have students here attending online class while watching the stream? Can you guys focus on 2 lessons at the same time? Yeah? Doing exam while watching stream. Wow. Working while watching stream. Yeah, I guess this is more common for us. The additional damages based on Axie types don't apply if cards are played in combo, right? They actually still do. So for instance, these are all bird cards. They will still deal extra 10% damage because a bird Axie uses these cards, okay? Because it's a bird Axie that's using these cards. They'll still deal 10% extra, okay? Oh, okay, so a lot of you guys are actually working. I see. Yeah, students are probably still in school right now. You know, in online virtual school. Okay, no values? Let's try, huh? So now, how many damage will this particular card deal? The double talk. So it's gonna deal 80. Okay. Multiplied by. Okay, so plus 80 times 0.1. This is the extra damage given to us by a bird playing a bird card. Okay, that's 10% extra. So this gives us 8 actually. That's 10% of 80. Now, we're gonna add this card damage times skill over 500. So that's 80 times 35 over 500. Okay? 80 times 35 over 500. So, let's see. What value will this give us? Okay? So, it's gonna be between 240 and 320. Okay. So that's gonna be around 5 to 6. Okay? It's gonna be around 5 to 6. 5 to 6. Okay? So this is gonna be 93 to 94. Okay? This is gonna be 93 to 94. So this also 93 to 94. Okay? But you know, from experience, I know that this is 93. Alright? From experience. But if you use our formula for approximation, you're actually gonna get 93 to 94. Okay, so now let's try this. 120 plus 120 times 0.1. This gives you 12. Okay. Now, we have 120 times 35 over 500. Okay. So now, if we try to multiply 120 times 35, okay, that actually gives us 4,200. And then dividing it by 500, we get 8 to 9. Okay, we get 8 to 9. Okay, that gives us 8 to 9. So now the damage of this egg bomb will become 132 plus 8 to 9. So it's gonna be 140 to 141. But again, from experience, this is gonna be 140. Okay. And so we're just gonna add all of these. Okay. It's gonna be around 466. Okay. And I have yet to see an Aqua with more than 466 HP. So this combo is actually lethal for most, if not all, aquatic Axies. Okay? They just auto-die to this combo because this combo will ignore your opponent's shielding. Okay? Alright. Any questions about that? Now we had to do some math here on stream. No questions? Yeah, I agree. I mean, because Terminator Axies, they capitalize on you breaking their shield and, you know, you getting stunned in the process. But if you can just, you know, ignore their shields altogether, then, you know, why not? How about the other students out there? Other than buying Axies, you have to pay gas to play. No, Rock Zombie 2, you don't. You should have listened to your math teacher, yeah. Probably, I mean, math skills would definitely take you a long way here in Axie Infinity. So once you already have your Axie's Rock Zombie 2, you can actually, start to play, and you only would have to pay minimal, very minimal gas fees when you're trying to convert your in-game tokens to fiat currency. So I'm not really sure how it works for other countries, but my country has Binance, so using Ronin Chain on Binance is very cheap. Like, our gas fees probably around what? 0.1 of a dollar? Do the devs pay for the gas fees to run the game then? You know what? I'm not really so sure about this, okay? And I don't want to be spewing information that I'm not certain about. So I'm afraid I am not able to answer your question. Other questions about our lesson? No? Okay. So now, how's my day? Hey, some tidbit from my real life situation. It's actually my and my wife's 2nd anniversary today. And like more than half of our marriage we're just quarantined at home. So, I mean, are the best. Oh, she's here. There she is. J Princess FR. That's actually my wife. Very supportive wife. Thanks, people. Okay, but moving on with our lesson for this afternoon. We talk about chaining. Okay, let's talk about chaining. Okay, all right, then I'll thank you guys first for all your greetings. Thank you. Appreciate it, really. And I don't think I'll be able to make a lot of things like this, content like this, had it not been for her support. So, you also have her to thank that I'm able to do this. I'm not really the most artsy person out there, and these PowerPoint templates, it's actually made by her. I love you naman dyan, Prof. Kayo talaga. Ano pa kayo, ha? Mga bata talaga ngayon. Anyway, we can continue with what we were doing. Since there are no more greetings. Thank you everyone for your greetings. Let's continue. Now, chaining, you remember that chaining is actually triggered if you play cards from the same class across different axes. So, what was that again? So let's say you have 3 axes, right? Axie 1 plays a plant card. Axie 2 plays a plant card also. Okay? So now, you are chaining plant cards this way. Okay? So, just to review, how much shielding will a single watering can or aqua stock card give if a plant Axie uses this card? So you have 80 shielding. And now, if a plant Axie uses this card, you actually get 10% bonus, right? You get 10% bonus. So 80 plus 80 times 0.1. So this is just going to be 8, of course. Then you get 88 shielding out of this card, okay? Now, what if a Dusk Axie uses this card? So you get 80 plus and 80, okay, times 0.075, you get 7.5% bonus. This will give us 8 over, okay, this gives us 6. So this is just 86 shielding. Finally, if a bird Axie uses this card, it doesn't get any bonus, or, you know, it's just gonna be 80. Okay? 80 shielding. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? Sabi ni Neferpitu01 Kilig. I mean, yeah. Being married has its merits, you know. Now, how do we maximize card value via chaining? Okay, you actually get extra shielding. Okay, you actually get extra shielding from chained cards. So you have shielding times 0.05 plus minus 1. So of course, just to establish a baseline, we're just going to be using this. Okay. So for instance, plant 1 uses a watering can. Okay. And then plant 2 uses watering can. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna use different colors for them. Wait. Maybe here in the upper right, plant 1 uses watering can, okay? So you know that it gives us 80 shielding and then 88 because it's a plant Axie. Now what if another plant uses the same thing? Okay. How much shielding are we gonna get from this? We're actually gonna be able to get, so let's take a look at plant 1. You have 80, that's the base, right? Plus 10% bonus because a plant card being used by a plant Axie will give you 10% extra damage and 10% extra shielding. But you know, shieldings are only concern right now. Plus, now we talk about your chaining bonus. Because these cards are chained, okay, they're played across. I mean, it doesn't have to be a watering can and a watering can. Okay, it can be a watering can and another plant card from another Axie. Even if it's not a plant Axie. Okay? So here it's just gonna be, so yeah, just to illustrate our point, then maybe we can try and write uses another plant card. Uses another plant card. Okay? So what's gonna happen is that we're gonna have an extra 5% shielding here. So this is gonna be 4 shielding, this is gonna be 8 shielding. So all in all, you get 92 shielding as opposed to the previous part where we just got 88 shielding. Okay? Does this make sense, people, students? So of course, these are things that you really need to know. Okay, especially if you're already a scholar or if you're an aspiring scholar, it really wouldn't hurt to know all of these things. Okay? Right. So let's try to take a look at this. Okay, let's try to take a look at this. I have here 3 cards with me: October Treat, Carrot Hammer, Disguise. Okay? To illustrate our lesson, so you see here, there's a timer. It means that the actual entire shield has not been resolved yet. Okay, so these are just the base values. So 40, base value, because we just played 1 carrot here, that's the 40. Here, 130, because we played October Treat and Disguise, okay? So let's label this plant 4. What's the total shielding for plant 4? We have 40 plus 40 times 0.1. So this 10% bonus is because it's a plant Axie playing a plant card, okay? Plus, you have here the chaining bonus because it's a plant card played across 2 Axies. You have Carrot Hammer here, you have Pumpkin on the other Axie. So that's going to be an additional 5%. So this is 4, this is 2. The total shielding is 46. And that's what we see here when the timer expires and it's time for combat. Okay? Now, moving on. How about for plant number 5? See, I have plant number 5 here, okay? For plant number 5, we have 120. So this is a bug card, okay? I want you to take note that disguise or leaf bug is a bug card. So for plant number 5, you have 110. That's the base. Plus 10% of this. So that's 110 times 0.1. So this is 11, of course. Okay. Now, plus the chaining bonus. Okay. That's going to be 5.5. That's just half of this. Plus the 20. So you see, the 20 does not get a bonus. Because it's a bug card. Okay? You only get the chaining bonus from classes that satisfy the chaining. Okay? So that's the idea. So it's still gonna stay at 20. So this is 121. And then this is around 127. Okay, 126.5. 146.5 giving us 146.5 or 147. So that's why it's 147 here. Okay? Right. Now, let's try this. Okay? I want you guys to take a look at this particular situation. Okay? You see here the cards that were used. And now I have 3 Axies. I want you guys to try and calculate by yourselves what happened here. Okay? Let's see that. I'll give you around 2 minutes for this so that you can just, try and calculate by yourselves. Hello, Hilds09. Hi there. And to all merit scholars watching. Hello. If you have questions about the calculations, make sure you ask, okay? Right. Plant with Aqua stock, so very intense when opponent is AAP, I agree. I mean, one good Aqua stock play can give you energy for days. How are your calculations going? No? Having a tough time? Okay, I'll give you guys 1 more minute. Just so we can accommodate those people who are really trying to do this by themselves. Okay, so now let's try to do it all together. So let's start with plant 4 here with the confused dice here. It's this guy right here. Okay. So he plays carrot and angry lamb. So for plant 4, we have 40 from the carrot plus the bonus from the carrot. Okay. Plus 40 from the chaining. Okay. And then plus 40 from the angry lamb shielding. Okay. And so this gives us 86. That's why it's 86 here. Okay. From the base damage of 80. Eric the Bomb, what do you mean? What was the formula for the second card? What do you mean by that? Wait. Maybe you're thinking that if it's comboed, huh? You actually don't get extra shielding from combos, okay? You only get extra shielding from chaining. Okay? You only get extra shielding from chaining. Okay? Moving on. Let's talk about plant 5. So the guy with leaf bug here, leaf bug and closed eyes. So it's this guy. Okay? The formula for chaining is yung shielding, we multiply by, shielding, you multiply by 0.05, okay? So this is basically the chaining bonus right here, okay? So now you have plant 5. It's 40. Oh, wait, no. It plays 110. Place the October treat right here. Then the October treat bonus because it's played by a plant. Okay. Now the chaining bonus. And then we're gonna repeat the same process for the vegetal bite. Okay, that's 30 shielding plus 30 times 0.0 times 0.1 plus 30 times 0.05. Okay, this is gonna give us 161. Alright. Okay. And finally, we have plant number 6. Wait, I think I'm gonna use what color this time? Red. Let's use red. Okay. So for plant number 6, how's it gonna go? It only plays one aqua stock. So that's 80 bonus. So that's gonna be 80 plus 80 times 0.1. Okay, this is the class bonus because it's a plant card being played by a plant Axie. And finally, you have 80 times 0.05. Okay, and this gives us 92. Alright, so that's the general idea. Okay, so this is actually, the last part of the lecture where we're gonna do a lot of math. Okay? Entering last stand. How do we determine if your Axie enters last stand? Okay, or how do we know if your Axie, given a final blow to it, how do we know if it's gonna enter last stand? So we take a look at two things. First, your morale modifier. So your Axie's morale modifier is its remaining HP, and then you multiply by its morale stat divided by 100, okay? I want you guys to remember this formula. So this is where, high morale plays a big role. Chaining bonus needs to be same type. No, not really. Chaining bonus can be applied if, let's say, so for example here, if a bug Axie plays a plant card, the chaining bonus will still be in effect, okay? It will still be triggered, okay? Moving on. You have here excess damage. Okay, excess damage is basically how much more damage will go through your Axie's HP. Okay, so like if that damage does take your Axie down, then you're gonna be at negative what? Okay, are you gonna be at negative 10? Are you gonna be at negative 20? So that's the excess damage. Okay, and so now if your morale modifier is greater than the excess damage, you enter last stand. Okay, let's try to do that. Let's try to, you know, illustrate using this particular situation. Okay, right. So now if your beast's Axie's remaining HP is 90, excuse me, will your Axie enter last stand if the incoming fatal blow is 120 damage, 144 damage. Okay, so now you only have 90 HP. And of course, for simplicity of calculation, let's just say that you don't have any shielding. Okay, so here, since you don't have any shielding, the excess damage will be 30. Okay, Smile 4, Jam 22, welcome to the stream. You have excess damage. So this is simply 120 minus 90. Because, of course, 120 damage will take our beast down. And we're going to be at negative 30. Okay? Now, what's our morale modifier going to be? Your morale modifier will be... Wait, I'm gonna use a different color for the morale modifier so that it's easier to identify. Morale modifier. This is just gonna be your remaining HP right now, which is 90. Multiplied by your Axie's morale, which is 59. Divided by 100. Okay? Divided by 100. So, you know, 90 times 59, so I'll just do 90 times 60. That's 5,400. And I'm gonna subtract 90 from that. 5310. Gonna be 5310 over 100. So that's gonna be 53.1. Okay? It's gonna be 53.1. So now, since my morale modifier is bigger than my excess damage, we enter last stand. Okay? But now, what if the incoming fatal blow is 144 damage? Okay, instead of 120. So, of course, the morale modifier is just going to be the same. Because our remaining HP is still 90 for this particular situation. But, what's the excess damage going to be? Excess damage is just going to be 144 minus 90. This is 54. And since 54 is greater than 53.1, the excess damage is greater than your morale modifier. Okay, that's MM. Okay, then you do not enter last stand. Okay, and your beast dies. Okay. Questions there? I'm actually gonna give you guys a few minutes to breathe because I know doing a lot of math can be mentally taxing. But yeah, knowing these things will give you an edge in Axie Infinity, okay? You hate math, yeah, I mean. Math, not even once. I actually like teaching math. So I actually teach engineering students. I'm still confused about chaining, prof. Who is does Lamb not get chaining bonus? Okay, let's go back to this. Lamb does not get the chaining bonus because you see here, what triggers the chaining bonus is plant cards that are chained. So only the plant cards will get chaining bonus. Okay? Only the plant cards get chaining bonus. So this, the carrot, the vegetal bite, and the pumpkin, and then the aqua stalk. Okay? Since Angry Lamb, this is an aquatic card. Okay? It doesn't get a chaining bonus. So let's say for this particular scenario, another Axie plays an aquatic card. Okay? So Angry Lamb will get the chaining bonus if an aquatic card is played by another Axie. Okay? What if you play the following cards? Plant, aqua, plant. So only the plant cards will get the chaining bonus. Okay? Only the plant cards will get the chaining bonus. Okay? We're just gonna look at the cards played by other Axies. So, if you're playing an aquatic card and another Axie in your team plays an aquatic card, you get a chaining bonus. Else no. Okay? Yes. The sequence doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? The only thing that you're going to consider here is if another Axie on your team plays a card with the same class as the one you're trying to chain it with. Okay? Right. Other questions? Yeah? So just like that, feel free to clarify any concept that may not be so clear to you. How many morale does confident card gives prof? It's actually plus 20% of your morale. It's 20%. Okay? 20% of your morale. So two stacks of confident gives you 40% of your morale. Additional 40%. Okay? I mean, if you're on a budget, and I said a few streams ago that you want a zero cost card on all of your Axies, you know, in the name of just efficient energy management. You can actually go for confident. It gives you 40 extra shielding. And, well, the extra morale might give you extra crits. Who knows? Okay? Alright, so if you have no more concerns about this, let's continue. Now, we're gonna go to actual arena battles. Okay, actual arena battles and what we need to know about them. So first, you need to know how the turn order is determined. So the first Axie to move is the one with the highest speed. Okay? So now, what if both Axies have the same speed? What if two Axies have the same speed? Then, the one with the lower current HP moves first. Well then, what if they have the same current HP? Then the one with the higher skill moves first. Well, what if they both have the same skill? Then, the one with the higher morale moves first. But what if they have the same morale still? Then, the lower ID numbered Axie will move first. That is why lower ID numbered birds are more expensive than higher ID number birds. Okay? Because of course, you want to have that initiative. Okay? Questions? No? Yeah. And now we talked about positioning. Okay, you can review some of our previous streams on the rationale behind this, but you don't ever want to do this. You don't want to do this one at the bottom. Okay? You always want to position your axes like this configuration on top if you're just starting. Okay? Always want to do this. Okay? That's because if your axes are positioned like such, these two axes will always be targeting your opponent's top axis. Okay? Whatever the configuration is. Okay? You're sure to know who these two axes are gonna attack. Okay? Because I have coached a lot of people whose, configuration or positioning of axes look like the one at the bottom. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. Okay? This gives you a lot of uncertainty. The one at the bottom. Okay? Now, what are the important steps that you need to take, okay, when you're playing arena games? So first, you check your opponent's stats. Why do you need to do that? You check your opponent's stats. It's not enough to just check the top center portion to determine turn order, okay? Because, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the top might not be enough because you might have the same speed with your opponent, okay? Next, you check your opponent's cards. So especially if you're not yet familiar with the cards, okay? You need to tap on your opponent, okay? Tap on your opponent's axes so that you'll see what their cards are, okay? So you take note of cards that might disrupt your strategy. I mean, how will you play around your opponent's cards if you don't know what they are? Okay? To be a better Axie Infinity player, you have to be familiar with all of the cards. That's the idea. Okay? But of course, you can't do that if you're just starting. Okay? So, make sure you check your opponent's cards. Okay? And finally, you count energy and cards. Okay? Knowing what cards your opponent have already played, okay, and how many cards they have will give you information on what they can possibly do. And of course, if you know that your opponent has only 2 energy, then you know that it's probably a safe turn to pass. Things like that. Okay? Or if you know that your opponent has no energy, then it could be also a good time to strike. Because that means they can only put up a little amount of shielding. Okay? Prof, will you teach us how to count energy properly? Hey, glad you asked. Later, we'll actually have a portion of counting energy. Okay? So again, things that you need to take note of. Check your opponent cards. Check for backdoor. Okay? What are the things that you need to really take note of? Backdoor, energy steal or destroy, speed gain or reduction. Okay. Energy counting. You need to know that you have 3 energy at the start. And you gain 2 energy per round. And finally, for counting cards, you have 6 cards at the start. You draw 3 cards per round. And finally, you only have 2 copies of each card in your deck until it resets. Okay? So some examples of backdoor cards, okay? What do we mean by backdoor cards? Backdoor cards mean they are not going to target your nearest Axie or your frontliner Axie. Okay? It means they're going to target, they have a possibility of targeting someone else. Okay? So this might disrupt your strategy. So for example, you're going to attack with your Aqua or your Bird. But it turns out that your opponent goes first and, your opponent is able to backdoor your Aqua or your Bird. Then you lose a lot of value and you might actually just lose the game because of that. Okay, that's not the position you want to be in. Okay, so take note of backdoor cards. Now, you also want to take note of energy gain or energy destroy cards because this will help you count your opponent's energy and you want to play around them. Okay? Because giving your opponent a lot of energy, of course, you don't want to be doing that. Okay? Finally, speed and gain reduction. So this is especially important if you're going to go to a 1v1 situation. Okay? If your opponent has a speed up or, he can slow you down, then the turn order might change. So for example, you're going first now. And then next turn, if he has a slow or if he has a speed up, he might actually end up going first. Okay? And you have to take that into account if, you want to be a better player. Okay? Hello, Milkita. Oh yeah, discards and disables. I guess, for the higher MMRs. I mean, sure. But I don't think, that's something that you go on with when you climb to higher MMRs. But yeah, of course, that's also good to know. There are some cards that discard your cards, meaning your opponent is going to force you to throw away your cards and disable. Okay, so if you've seen my last stream, I think we've played a composition with Gravel Ant, which disables melee cards. So those also disrupt your strategy, so you make sure you take note of those. Okay? Thank you for your kind suggestion, Enli. Right. Questions? Wait, are you the same Enli from Hearthstone Philippines? Or are you not that person? Just the same name? Oh, that's you. Hey. If you all have questions, I've actually seen some of your content in the group. But I mostly played Hearthstone duels. Like, Hearthstone meta is so bad right now, and we're basically just playing the same thing when we do Axie Infinity, and we earn here, so there's really not much point in me playing Hearthstone at this point. Questions here, people? Yeah? Okay. All good? We all good? Non-Axie related question. Will you try and compete for Asian Games representative, assuming there's qualifier? For Axie Infinity? Probably not. Probably not. I actually don't have competitive teams in my arsenal, and I don't intend to build competitive teams. So probably not. Okay? Oh, for Hearthstone? No, not really. Not really. Have you heard of the game Gods Unchained? Yeah, I think I've heard of it, but I haven't really, delved into it. Right now, what I'm trying to study is Vulcanverse. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but if there's enough interest on Vulcanverse, then maybe we can also play that on stream. It's also a play to earn game. Okay. How do we count energy effectively? So now, you ask and it shall be given to you. Okay, we're gonna be talking about how to count energy effectively. How do we keep track of energy? Okay? So one tip that I want you guys to take note of, you have to be familiar with cards and their costs. Okay? Because, oh, you know what? Before match history or match logs were available, I've actually seen a lot of people complain on Facebook groups like, hey, my opponent is cheating. How come they can play 6 cards in round 1? Or how come they can play 4 cards all the time? Okay? So now we're going to talk about how that's possible. Okay, I mean, maybe you've seen me on stream play 6 cards in round 1 even, because there are actually some cards that you can play, okay, that you can play using 0 energy. Okay, so you don't need energy to play them, and so you're just going to be able to play them for free as long as they're in your hand. Okay, so let's try to take a look at this. Okay, so we're going to be counting my energy. We're going to be counting my energy. Okay, so now here you see I have 3 energy at this point. Okay, I have 3 energy at this point because you know that we always start with 3 energy. Always start with 3 energy, all right? And so let's see what I play here. Yeah. I mean, people are saying that, but you know, if there's a hack like that, then of course the devs would have been onto that, because it will disrupt the economy. It's totally bad for the economy. So now take a look at this. Okay, I play 4 cards here, and then if you don't remember the costs, I played a 1 card, I played a 0 card, I played another 1 card, and I played another 1 card. Okay, okay. So the 20 shielding from the dual blade actually ends up saving me here. Okay. I don't get to steal any energy. So at this point, how many energy do I have? How many energy do I have? I only have 0 energy because I used up all my energy here. Okay? And so going into round 2, okay? So of course, going into round 2, I'll have 2 energy. Okay? You guys are right. You guys are right. Okay. We'll have 2 energy here. Okay? So of course, our opponent also has 0 energy because they used 3 energy here with their aqua. Okay? Alright, now, let's see which among you guys are, you know, or who among you guys are paying attention. How many energy does my opponent have now? 3 next turn, okay. Remember, our opponent played Winghorn, that's a 1 cost card, and a Risky Fish, that's a 1 cost card. And then this is a 0 cost card, so they're gonna have 2 energy next turn. Okay, our opponent has 2 energy next turn. Wait, what happened? Okay, where were we? Okay. Okay, 3 on me, and then 2 on the enemy. That's correct. Okay, and now, just to give you a quick overview on how card counting works. Remember in round 1, this particular aquatic Axie played Winghorn and Koi, right? And so now, since he played 2 of his Kois already, we're sure that he doesn't have any more Kois in his deck. So we really wouldn't have to worry about him getting initiative over our bird. Okay? Because he played Winghorn Koi in round 1. Okay? So that's information that's gonna be vital for us actually. And then in round 2, this aquatic Axie plays Winghorn and Risky Fish. Okay? And so since you know that there are only 2 copies of a card in the deck, okay, before it resets, it doesn't have Koi anymore from round 1, and then it doesn't have Winghorn anymore in his deck for round 2, okay, because of round 2. And so we're sure that this particular aquatic Axie cannot backdoor Arbird anymore, okay? That's where card counting becomes important. And also, you know, so that you know what cards you'll still be able to draw from your own deck. You also need to be card counting from your own deck, okay? Hey, Enrico. Actually queued into you a lot of times during the last days of season 18. How's it going? All right. So at this point, you remember that we have 3 energy. Okay, you know that, and our opponent only has 2 energy. Okay. No date yet. No date yet as to when season 19 is gonna start. CJ, if you're interested in scholarships, you type exclamation point scholarships. Okay, you'll see our scholarship pathways that way. All Merit Circle scholars get 70% of their SLP farmed, okay? Anyone telling you otherwise is scamming you, probably. All Merit Circle scholars should get 70% of their SLP farmed. Okay? So there, we played 3 energy, right? We played 3 energy. So right now, we only have 2 energy, and since our opponent passed, we know that our opponent has 4 energy at this point. Okay? So that's the idea. That's how you count energy. You just take note of what cards they played or what cards they didn't play. Okay? And you just keep on practicing that arithmetic in your head. Okay? You'll get better with it with practice. So you just make sure that every game you're disciplined, you try to focus, you try to keep your attention there on the game, and you'll get better at it. Okay? Because, you know, I'm also guilty of that. Sometimes I do chores while I'm playing Axie. You know, actually not sometimes. Most of the time, I play Axie while I cook, or I play Axie while I clean the house. So we really can't play in the most optimal way if we do that. Okay? And so he plays 2 energy only. Now we're sure that he still has 4 energy, right? So this was actually a very old game. So, you know, when Aqua stocks were still a thing, and everyone just kept running Aqua, and Terminators were still reptiles and not Dusks. Okay. Yeah. Do we have the same composition? Yeah, I mean, my mech has the same skills with this one, but just a higher speed, of course. That's why I transitioned to the mech. Okay, so that's how we count energy, people. So let's try another one. Wait, is this the same guy? Yeah, it's the same guy. So maybe we can try and look for another video here. So to be more effective, okay, with your counting energy skill, you also need to be familiar with cards that interact with your energy. So energy gain or energy destroy, energy steal, because these cards, they kind of mess up your energy count. Okay? So let's see. See what's going to happen here. So of course, first things first, you know that there are 3 energy for each player. Okay. So now our opponent played a 0 cost card, All Out Shot. Our opponent plays Carrot and Vegetal Bite. So how many energy does our opponent have right now? Okay, when round 2 starts, just so we're clear about that. When round 2 starts, how many energy does our opponent have? 4? Okay, let's try to take it piece by piece. Okay, so what did our opponent do? So of course, we have 3 energy starting, right? From the start of the game. Your opponent plays All Out Shot. So this is 0 energy. Now, your opponent plays Carrot. So he uses up 1 energy. So that's -1. Your opponent uses Vegetal Bite. That's another -1. Okay. But since we didn't actually play anything, our opponent ends up stealing 1 energy from us, from Vegetal Bite. Okay? And so if we add all of this, our opponent's energy expenditure on round 1 is just -1. So after round 1, he'll be left with 2 energy. And when round 2 starts, he gets additional 2 energy. So now he has 4 energy. Okay? That's the idea. So now our opponent, going into round 2, we know that he has 4 energy. Okay? So we play a lot of cards. We play 7 cards. We play 4 energy here. Oh wait, what happened? What happened? I think I'm pressing something on my tablet. I'm hitting it with my cord or something. Apologies for that. Okay, let's just resolve this again. And we're gonna end up denying him value here because he played Pumpkin into Leaf Bug, so he's not gonna be able to... Oh. So now, take a look at that. We actually don't know what cards our opponent played. We do not know. Okay? Because he ended up dying before we were able to see his 2 cards, right? He ended up dying, so we don't know what cards he played. But, going back a bit, you know that he had 141 shielding. So, what combination of cards, what 2 cards can give him 141 shielding? There's actually only one possible pair given his move set. Okay? It's only possible that he played October Treat and Disguise. Okay? That's the only possible pair. So even if we were not able to see these 2 cards, okay, these 2 cards here, we were not able to see them because he ended up dying before we were able to see them. we are 100% certain that he played October Treat and Disguise. Okay, so now this is 1. Okay, used 1 energy here, and Disguise is a 0 cost card. So now, in round 2, we were able to steal energy from him because we used our Vegetal Bite here. Okay, so steal another -1 from him. So for round 2, he actually spends 2 energy. Okay, he actually spends 2 energy. And so, going into round 3, at the end of round 2, he has 2 energy. Going into round 3, he still has 4 energy. Okay, that's the idea. So let's just continue there. Ends up dying here. Thank you. It probably kind of helps that I'm actually a university lecturer. Okay, I'm fairly certain I didn't press anything. So, not sure why that happened. Okay, let's just resolve this then. So, take a look at the cards that our opponent played, okay? So, this is a 1 cost card. This is a 0 cost card. This is a 1 cost card again, a 1 cost card. So, our opponent's total energy expenditure for this round is 3. Okay? And so, when this round ends, our opponent will have 1 energy. And at the start of round 4, our opponent will only have 3 energy. Okay? So you have to be able to track all of these during the game. Okay? So our plant ends up going down to the Terminator. Okay, and now he uses 3 1 cost cards, okay? He uses 3 1 cost cards now. So, for round 4, -3, we're now sure, round 5, he only has 2 energy. Okay? So that's the idea. Okay, that's the idea of energy counting. Okay? Do you have any questions about energy counting? For you people who were interested in energy counting a while ago, do you have any questions? No? Nothing? Okay. So, before we go to our last topic for today, are there tools for energy counting? Well, I'm sure there are apps out there. But I really haven't checked any of them, so I can't vouch for any app that, I can actually tell you that, hey, this app is safe to use, because these apps might have malwares or something. Okay? And I don't want to be accountable for that. So I did tell you guys a while ago that it's my and my wife's anniversary today. So I'll be posting a little bit of SLP giveaway. Okay? So we'll be doing one here on stream. Just, fill out this form right here on the chat. We'll actually just be playing Resident Evil. Okay, we'll just be playing Resident Evil. So now we're gonna get one winner of 500 SLP from the chat. Okay. You need permission? You need permission? Wait, how do I do that? How do I do that? Permission. You guys can see it? You guys can see it? Can't access. Can't access. Okay, wait, you know what? I'm gonna try to figure that out. Why is it acting up? Okay, responses. Oh, there you go. There you go. Try it right now. Try it right now. It should be working right now. Okay, it should be working right now. Do you guys want one 500 to 250? Okay. So just fill that out, okay? And we'll be going to that, okay? Account doesn't exist. Really? Both of them are just ex-Professor LP. Huh. Both of them are ex-Professor LP. So Twitter and Facebook. Okay, so while you guys are still filling up the form, okay, we don't have time for a class exercise for energy counting. Yeah, probably. Thanks, I'll look into it. So now, for our final lesson for this afternoon, we're gonna count cards effectively this time instead of energy. Because you know that it's very vital that you count your opponent's cards so that you know what cards are still available to them or what cards are still available to you. Okay, like what cards are you gonna draw and when you are gonna draw them. Okay, so of course you have to know the basics. You know that there are 24 cards in each deck because 2 copies of each card per deck. Okay, so you have 3 axes and all of your axes, so you have 3 axes, right? Okay, and then you have 4 moves per axis. And then you have 2 copies of each move, okay? So 3 times 4 times 2, you get 24 cards, okay? Right. So now, you actually draw 3 cards per turn. Okay? You actually draw 3 cards per turn. Alright? So, of course, to be effective in card counting, you have to be familiar with the cards that draw cards. So these are the cards, okay, that draw other cards. So you have Blue Moon, you have Hero, or wait, let's use the card names. You have Scale Dart, Heroic Reward, you have Hair Dagger, you have October Treat. So actually, these cards are very widely used. Okay? Now, Bone Sale, Ivory Chop actually has a broken interaction right now. Because if you play Ivory Chop plus Overgrowth Keratin, or if you're more familiar with the part names, you have Bone Sale plus Bumpy, the one with 2 bumpy horns like this. Each time the shield breaks, it actually draws one card. So that's a lot of cycle, that's a lot of value for you. Okay? So now let's try to take a look at this. It's the same game from a while ago, but now we're going to use it for card counting, okay? Now here, we saw one koi and the other koi right here. So now we're sure that this aquatic Axie does not have koi anymore, okay? It cannot have any koi anymore unless the deck resets, okay? So rule of thumb, the deck generally resets at rounds 5 and 6. Okay? Rounds 5 and 6. Okay? Rule of thumb lang. But of course, it's gonna depend if, let's say, if you're able to take down the opponent plant at round 1, so the deck reset is gonna come early, maybe around round 4. Okay? So now the opponent plays 2 kois. We're sure he doesn't have koi anymore because you only have 2 copies of the koi card in the deck. Okay, and then he played 1 wing horn. So let's see here what he is gonna do. We actually know what he's gonna do because we've watched this game a while ago already. Okay, so just to emphasize here, again, in round 2 he plays the wing horn, right? He plays the wing horn, the second wing horn. Here. So in round 1 he played 1 wing horn, second round he played the second wing horn. Now we're 100% certain that this card will not be seen anymore. Okay? Will not be seeing this card anymore, and our bird will be safe from back door. Okay? So, you know, that kind of information is very important because what if you're trying to play safe with your bird? It turns out it doesn't have backdoor anymore. So, you know, you're kind of limiting yourself for a play that's never gonna come. Okay? It's very important. It's very important to keep track of your opponent's cards, okay? Alright. So that's just the general idea about card counting. Okay, but for starters, you have to master energy counting first. Okay, you have to master energy counting first. That's my tip for you guys, and familiarize yourself with the cards. Okay, any more questions before we start our draw? How many cards per start of the game? You draw 6 cards at the start of the game, and then you draw 3 cards every round after. Okay? Yes. Yep. That's the broken interaction between overgrowth keratin and bone sail. That's why a lot of people use bone sail with Bumpy. Afternoon? I'm gonna be closing the form in a minute, okay? Excuse me. And so while you guys are still filling up the form, thanks again for tuning in, and